It's another episode of This Week in Google Glass, and we got a great show for you. We're going to talk about the big rumors of the release date of Google Glass and if it's going to show up in Best Buy. Plus, we're going to be talking about South by Southwest panels. We'll be talking about cars and glass and a whole bunch more. It is This Week in Google Glass. Hey everybody, Jeffrey Powers here from Geekazine.com. Think magazine, put in a geek. You got Geekazine, like a nice sandwich. I got the meat in the geek, and the cheese is the azine, and you got a sandwich, and it's nice and tasty. Nom 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 nom. A little bit of mayo and mustard. It's all good at Geekazine.com. But of course, this is TWIGG, or thisweekingoogleglass.com, or twig.tv, however you want to think of it, TWIGG.tv. Got an email here, jeff@twig.tv. And of course, my partner in crime for This Week in Google Glass, Mr. Luke Wallace.
Hey Jeff, how's it going?
It's going.
Yeah, hey everybody. My name's Luke Wallace. Been here for several weeks talking with Jeff about glass, and you can reach me on Twitter at LukeLuca or Luke@twig.tv.
All right. Hey, anything happened for you this week? Yeah, you've been pretty hot and heavy on some projects, so you haven't done too much
Yep,
out there, right?
yep. I'm a app developer by day, and so we've been rolling towards the end on a big project, and so pushing that out the door. Can't really talk about it anymore here, but it's always good, keeping me busy.
Well, that's good to hear, and good to see that they do that for you. So, here at Geek Central, which I just called it Geek Central for some reason. It kind of sounded French. I've been doing my stuff. I've been doing the shows. I just did some videos, which you can find over at youtube.com/geekazine, and of course you can find this show over at youtube.com/geekazine. But I just threw out some videos, of course, some of my other shows, and of course, and the special media feed where I do different things, and I got to show you a little bit. I got to show people what I purchased over the weekend, or not over the weekend, but a couple months ago, and that is one of those flavor stations. Except it's not a Soda Stream; it's actually a company called Primo, which was half the price. And a nice little video on how you can make your own soda and how it's healthier for you and less chemicals, no aspartame, no high fructose corn syrup, and it's very easy to make. So, but I also on this morning I was actually on local radio, a station called Triple M, and took some pictures. And I'm gonna throw those up really quick. Oop, wrong button. There we go. So I was up at and talking about Google Glass on the radio, and they Jonathan and Kitty is the name of the morning show. They were very intrigued on how it worked, and we had some fun. We took some video. That's I think that's what's loading up right now. And Jonathan going, how do I know that you're not recording me right now? I could be getting recorded right now. It's like, yeah, I am recording you right now. So, but a lot of cool stuff. Showed off some of the pictures, and then of course over the weekend I also got to check out the a new co-working space at 100 State, and I took some pictures there. So you can check it all out over at my plus.google.com account and find out a little bit more about that. So, any cool pictures on your side there, Luke?
No, not this week. A lot of pictures of me at my desk, I think.
Do you usually take pictures of you at your desk?
No, because I know what that looks like. So.
Okay. Well, of course, if you took a picture with glass of you at your desk, all you'd be seeing is the wall, the chair, the other coworkers, and that's probably
Yeah.
not a good thing. So anyway, all right. So hey, of course, if this is the first time you've come to the show, remember go over to twig.tv or thisweekingoogleglass.com. You can find out how you can donate to Twig. You can find out about our promotion where we can help get other people glass, and of course, past episodes. Last week we talked about police officers having glass, and then of course referees should they have glass as well during sports events. Have you heard anything after that fact? After we talked about that, Luke?
Not specifically, but I do see more people getting like supporting that idea of police officers wearing glass. It seems like the general consensus is, if they're going to be evaluating us, it's just something that we'd like to be able to see what they actually saw and hear what they actually heard,
Yeah.
so that we feel like they're protecting us and we can really see what they're going through.
Okay. What about referees? I know, yeah, well, NFL's really starting to get hot and heavy, the
Hmm.
preseason. Have you been watching any football games, or I don't know if you watch football, and because I actually was watching a football game, and I thought to myself, yeah, how funny would that be if a referee had a pair of glass on?
Be pretty funny. No, I don't really watch the guys on the football court too much. I think when they make it down to the end region and um, you know get all the points, I cheer. I cheer for my side. So I'm pretty smart on that stuff. So
Okay. You get a home run in football?
no, of course not. But you
Okay.
can get it through the uprights and they call it a hat trick. Is
A
what I've
hat
learned
trick.
because it's
Okay.
like top of the hat, going
Top
through.
top of the hat trick to you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, fighting Irish.
There you
It's a
go.
football thing, right?
It is all football, and it's gonna get this next week. Of course, this next week being Labor Day, it's
Hmm.
like the summer is over, getting close to over, and it's almost 8 o'clock, and the sun has already gone down here in Madison, Wisconsin, and it's we're getting ready to gear up for the cold weather again.
Yeah, we got another month of pretty hot days before we start
Another
cooling down.
month? Excuse
Yeah,
me?
oh yeah,
Another month?
oh
Try
yeah.
try another 3 months. I remember going to Texas in November and wearing shorts and sitting
Well, yeah.
outside,
It's not cold. Not November.
but it's not hot. Oh yeah, okay. Okay, now I get it now. Okay. So
It's less than 100. That's considered cool.
that's
So,
true. That's well, you
like,
come
but
up
that
to
that doesn't come until October.
come up to
So,
Wisconsin and you'll see what I mean. There'll be snow on the ground in 3 months, and well, we won't talk about that just yet. So
yeah.
anyway, let's get into the articles for this week. Oh my God, you think you have like summer and and mosquito season. I think that's the two seasons you really have,
Hmm. Hmm.
or
Pretty much.
high humidity mosquito season and summer.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, and then the season where they decorate all the trees on the roadside.
Mhm.
Big fire hazard. But anyway, let's get into the news for this week. We're gonna start over at cnet.com. I have no idea why that's there. Let me bring this up here. I guess there are some Siri mocks on Google Glass, and I didn't know about this until today. So, and of course, I don't have my iPhone anymore, but I do have my iPad. And so, what I did was I grabbed my iPad, and I'm going to pull it up here. And I guess if you hold down Siri and you say "Okay, Glass," so I'll go like this. Okay, Glass.
I think that glass is half empty. Jeffrey.
And then, of course, if you do it again, "Okay, Glass."
I'm not glass, and I'm just fine with that.
And one more. "Okay, Glass."
I'm not glass, and I'm just fine with that.
Oh, don't tell me the same thing. Let's do it again. "Okay, Glass."
Glass? I think you've got the wrong assistant. Jeffrey.
So that's basically what happens there. If you try to do OK Glass, they got a bunch of other little Easter eggs inside of Google Glass or inside of the iPad and the iPhone, the Siri on there. So do you think that that's going to spark a big war, or just kind of like ribbon back and forth? This isn't an Android device. This is an iOS device.
Yeah. Apple likes to put in little Easter eggs like that, especially in Siri, um, and those always make the rounds. So this sounds like a new one. So uh, pretty neat. I think it's fun that both tech companies, don't take themselves too seriously and
Yeah.
realize, hey, people are going to play around with it and they're going to be like, try to say, ooh, I'm going to say, okay, glass to Siri and just see what happens. And, they actually thought about that and thought it would be cute to put in a little, collection of responses there. So
Well, it's really
I think
easy
it's
to
good.
it's really easy to do. So what about Glass? What if we did the same thing? What if we said Siri? No, it's not doing anything. Okay, Siri. No, no. Okay, Glass. No, okay, that does that. So no. Okay, Siri. It maybe down the road, maybe somebody will write an app for that or something like that. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, people have talked about maybe you can customize that keyword. So instead of everyone saying "okay glass," because that can get, a room full of people. If they happen to wake their glass up, you could say "okay glass" and have it pick it up. So uh, maybe they could let you customize it. So you could either pick from a few different options if they really wanted to optimize it for those few, or maybe just let you say anything. I think it could get dangerous if
It,
they let you configure anything. But
yeah, that's true. It's actually funny that you mentioned that. While I was on the radio show today, they tried on my pair of Google Glass. So I was explaining what you do, and I said, so you say the two. I always say you say the two magic words, because if I say okay glass, sometimes my glass actually picks up my words
mhm.
and does that. So and we were talking about some sort of weird photobombing thing where it's like I could say okay glass, and then all of a sudden somebody else would say take a picture or record a video, and then all of a sudden glass would start doing that because it heard
Mhm.
that, but it didn't really recognize the voice that it was coming from. So I like the idea of actually customizing the language. You're probably right, because then people would start doing something like that, and nobody would have any idea that glass is being activated, which I think a lot of people want that comfort of hearing okay glass. But if I was to get any type of command to replace okay glass, I want it to be this. Could you imagine if I could if you did the Darth Vader sound and all of a sudden your glass went, you go record a video.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be
Yeah.
awesome?
I think it'd be pretty neat. I think it'd be pretty cool if they would allow any customization or record what you want your activation sound to be, so that you could you know okay, and then you could just make it that, and that way people wouldn't really know what you're doing. Okay,
I don't know.
take a picture.
I'd have more fun by doing different things, like maybe Blossom's Joy going, whoa, whoa, glass, whoa,
Whoa.
or something like that. Just have some fun with it, instead of just okay glass. Like I don't know, maybe okay glass in Klingon. I don't know what it is.
Mm.
It's, talk chaho, and all of a sudden I spit all over the camera. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
You go talk chaho or whatever the term is, and then all of a sudden you've got okay glass in Klingon. Actually just beeped at me. That was weird.
Uh-oh, maybe it's already configured for that.
Talk
Just
chaga. Chaka, chaka, and that's Land of the Lost.
no,
No,
it's
no, no. Chaka, chaka. Smurf. How's that? Okay, Smurf. No, that didn't work either. So,
no.
what would you? That's actually pretty cool. Anybody watching or listening, go to my Twitter, Geekazine. Go to Luke Luca, his, or just find us on twig.tv and comment below. What would be the perfect alternate to OK Glass? Would it be like something like Chukar or Shaka Khan, or I don't know, something like that? Let us know, and we'll read off, not next week, but in 2 weeks, because next week's Labor Day. In 2 weeks, we'll read off any of the suggestions there that we've got from there. So that's pretty cool. We'll move on from there, but if you want to read more on that, go over to cnet.com. All right, let's move on. We're going over to wired.com. Mercedes is testing some Google Glass integration. Luke, why don't you take it away from here?
Yeah, they're basically creating a system that integrates with glass and their Mercedes in-car navigation. So the idea is you set up your destination, and you then use glass to kind of handle everything where you're outside the car going somewhere. So, you get to where you're going, and you're parking in a parking lot, but then you're not really sure which building you need to go to, or you know whatever, maybe inside the building even. And so the idea is you set up your navigation before you leave. Glass tells you, hey, your car's over here. Here's where you need to go for that. Once you get in the car, it syncs with the in-car navigation. And then when you get to your destination, it's like, okay, now you're back to using glass again, and it'll take you the rest of the way. It's an idea they're working on. They're saying they're going to roll it out. I don't know if in next year's model or in the year after that, but they'll be basically their goal is to integrate this. Obviously, if consumer demand is greater, they might do it sooner. We'll kind of see what they do. But basically, they're saying they're working on this. So I think it's a neat idea of car, that whole in-car experience, and how might you use glass when you're more mobile.
Yeah.
Jeff, I know you had some comments about some other news that basically is happening.
Well, I like the idea. It really is poising for patents at this point. They know that wearable technology is going to be part of our lives, whether it be a smartwatch, whether it be a pair of glasses, or something like that. So right now, it's just trying to figure out the technologies and doing it first, and then getting a patent on that. So when you get a pair of Google Glass and you want to get some sort of in-car navigation technology, they're getting their pennies from whatever car company that decides that they want it in on that cool little app. So we're gonna see a lot of cool stuff like that. But what you were talking about was apparently today, Uber had announced that they're buying 2,500 Google fleet cars, the self-driving cars, and I just mentioned the fact that that wouldn't be a bad idea for Google to start thinking about what glass could do inside of one of their smart cars, and from navigation to saying, "Okay, glass, I'm taking control of the car if you need to do that."
Hmm. Yeah, and I think it makes even more sense on getting to your car being a um, part of glass, because with maybe these self-driving cars, you're not even sure where the car is right now. Oh yeah, it's coming down, it's going to come pick you up. You really need those directions of, wait, where's it going to pick me up at? And you can just kind of look up at your glass. Oh, it's over this way, and you just kind of head to it. And then
Yeah.
you know, they say tap on glass to have it flash the lights or something, in case there's several self-driving cars all kind of lined up there waiting for people to get in. You're like, okay, which one's mine?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, there it is, and jump
Or
in.
I was thinking about that with the self-drive, and not going off topic too much here, but I wrote an article about how when I went to get my glass, I took Uber to go from Venice Beach back to LAX, because taxis, it was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and trying to get a taxi was close to impossible. So I just said, well, I'll just do an Uber. I mean, that makes more sense, and of course I get a flat rate rather than wondering what my final total is going to be. So and the person that drove my Uber knew LA, so she saw some of the traffic jams, and now it's time. She moves around. She moved around LA pretty easily and got me to LAX really quick. Now things have been changing. Like for instance, last week the Waze app information got integrated into Google Maps, and of course you now can get that. If there's a traffic jam or something like that, you can now get that information inside Google Maps, and so that would then take a driverless car to a new level, to be like that person, my Uber driver that I had in LA, to say, well, maybe we should take this street instead of this street. But I still, for me, it's like any type of self-driving car. They can drive for themselves once they get up to me, but I'd like to sit down and drive and get me to my destination instead. So
Yeah.
that's a little rant on my part, but didn't want to go too much far off base. But I think it's a great idea that integrating glass with any car, whether it be a self-driving car or a Mercedes Benz or whatnot, it's a great idea. I like that a lot. So, all right, let's move on from there. If you want to read more on that, we got the article over at wired.com. Go over to twig.tv and you'll get all the articles, all the links in there. We're going to move on from there. We're going to talk South by Southwest. Now, last week, South by Southwest held a special version of South by Southwest in Las Vegas called the V2V, which was for startups. And I was going to go, but I didn't. I had other events I had to attend to, so I didn't go to that. But they started, of course, that became the push for South by Southwest 2014. And what's going on right now is the panel pickers. They asked everybody to put together their panels, and of course promote it to vote on that. There is one panel, actually two panels I'm going to show you. The first one is for my friend Sarah Hill. I always want to say Sarah Lane, but Sarah Hill. Sarah Lane, you're just as cool. Don't worry about it. But Sarah Hill, of course, she was one of the first Google Plus Hangouters that did news hangouts while she was on while she was on TV doing the news and stuff like that. She's since worked with Veterans United, and of course, she was at South by Southwest last year doing a hangout in real life. But she's got a pair of Google Glass, and she's going to be putting together, or she put together a panel between herself and, let's get the speakers up here, Stacey Welfel from her old radio TV station KOMU TV, Steve Grove from Google, Sarah Hill, and of course Alan Furstenberg from Objective Consulting. And they're going to talk about glass apps, the human media, and how you can use glass more quickly to share content gathered in the field. Gathered in the field of social platforms. So if you go over there, panel picker, I'll have the link for that. And I also have a panel that I'm doing on podcasting and the future of podcasting, which does also include Google Glass as a podcast. I'll have both of those links in the show notes. So please go over there and then, of course, vote on those. Now, Luke, you live in Dallas, but you've never been to South by Southwest.
That is correct. I actually grew up around Austin, and so I was around when they were kind of when it was just music and they didn't have the interactive portion of it, but actually I've never attended. Kind of sad.
It just never saw a need or whatnot.
I just never really had the opportunity. Never fought for it too hard.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I got family down there and lots of friends who live down there. But yeah, it just always comes at a busy time of year.
Yeah. So if I got you tickets, would you go down?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I'll see if I can flex some muscle. No, I'm sorry.
Not real muscle. You're talking about like this virtual muscle.
Yeah. I wish I could. Actually, South by Southwest is a difficult thing to get into. I do have my press pass for South by Southwest for next year. I got that confirmation last week. You've literally got to register like weeks after South by Southwest and tell them why you're there. Of course, I now have a 2-year track record at South by Southwest, so I produce content and I put it out there. I'm going to be really happy to do it again this year. Of course, doing it with Google Glass and seeing what I can get going from there. So, but anyway, like I said, I'll have the link in the show notes. All right, last article of the day, and this is over at Fandroid.com. A lot of rumors that came out about Google Glass, the release date, and whether it's going to be in Best Buy. And there was one rumor that Best Buy bought like thousands of square feet in select Best Buys to put up Google Glass kiosks. And what's true, what's not true there, Luke?
So the head of communication at Google for Google Glass, so basically the guy on the Google Glass project in charge of, making sure all the information gets communicated out, sent out a tweet recently just saying, it was real short. It basically said, Glass will not be at Best Buy in 2014, and it will not cost $299. But that was it. He didn't really go into what would happen. He just kind of said that those wouldn't happen. And so, we don't really know if he was talking about the Best Buy like experience that you kind of mentioned of like this dedicated retail space. We've seen companies like Samsung do that, where they basically take over a portion and they have their own employees actually working that.
Mm-hmm.
And they seem to be successful at it. But yeah, that's what we assume people are like that he was talking about, is that this kind of dedicated Best Buy retail space.
Yeah.
And then he just said not $299. So he didn't say, oh, we're going to do stores, those Google Experience stores instead. Another rumor. He didn't mention those, and he didn't say if it would be more or less than $299. He just said it wouldn't be that exact price.
Okay. Well, one thing that Luke was talking about that I wanted to expound on, here in Madison, Wisconsin, we have a Best Buy on the east side of Madison. We have a Best Buy on the west side of Madison. The Best Buy on the west side of Madison has been going through some interesting changes. Like, for instance, they were one of the Best Buys that had the music store in the back corner, and they just closed up the music store part. But they also have what they call a Best Buy mobile inside the mall, which is literally 150 to 200 feet away from the actual Best Buy. which caught up a lot of rumors that maybe Best Buy was going to close their West Side location and go into the mall and have something more for the phones and stuff, like, because that's what the mobility version is just you can get a phone, you can get a contract, and they compete with the little mall kiosks for Verizon or AT&T or Sprint or whatever. So it's very possible that instead he's Chris Dale. Is it Chris Dale? That's the
Yeah.
Okay. Chris Dale, that he's kind of throwing us off track. No, it won't be in a Best Buy, but it might be in a Best Buy Mobility. No, it won't be $299. It'll be $299.99. It's not the first time something like that has happened, but
Yeah.
I'm guessing. I really am guessing that the $300 price point on Google Glass is too low. I'm guessing. I'm thinking it's more of a $400 price point. So, and we talked about this for a couple seconds before the show. Actually, after the teardown, it was like $179 to $199 in parts, and so you want to get a return on investment on that. So that's why I'm thinking it's about $400 for a pair of Google Glass.
Yeah, no, it seems reasonable.
Yeah.
Maybe it'd be even higher at launch. Who knows? They'd feel real bad if they launched it and it sold out at 400. It's like, well, we could have probably sold it at 500 and been okay. But I don't know if their play is to make money or to just get them into as many people's hands as possible. So
yeah, and then there's the free stuff, the contests and stuff like that. Like, for instance, at the Oscars, they keep talking about these big packages that the actors get, and I guess one year they got gold-plated iPads in there. So will we see a pair of gold-plated Google Glass in somebody's Oscar bag coming up in the next year or two?
very well could be.
Wouldn't that be cool to have a gold-plated, a fully blinged pair of Google Glass?
Yeah. I don't know.
What do you mean you don't?
I mean,
I do.
I wouldn't turn them down. If they want
No.
to send me one, I would take it.
Diamond and Crust. What don't they have like these companies that make these? They take apart an iPhone and then they make them diamond encrusted and gold plated and stuff like that. I will gladly lend you my pair of Google Glass if you want to make them gold plated and diamond encrusted. I will let you do that to even though it's going to completely destroy my warranty off Google Glass. And this is my third pair of Google Glass. So if you want to do that and make a gold pair and give them to me, that's the deal. I mean, I get them in the end. I'm more than welcome to hand off my pair of Google Glass to make them blinged out. So anyway, no, you don't like that idea, Luke?
No, I think it's amazing. I would definitely do the same thing. So
okay,
go ahead.
Well, there you go. Both of our pairs of Google Glass, we want them blinged out by the end of this year. So if you have any questions on that, if you want to bling them out, definitely send me an email, jeff@twig.tv. That's with 2 G's at the end, not at the end of TV, but at the end of Twig. Just want to clarify that a little bit. It's like twig.tv. How you do TVG? That doesn't make sense. Or TVGG or anyway. So anyway, that does bring us to the end of today's episode of This Week in Google Glass. Any last thoughts there, Luke, any last thoughts?
No, I hope everybody has a great Labor Day, and we're going to do our best to get around and, see some sights and report back to you in 2 weeks with more adventures, more news, and all that good stuff about Google Glass.
All right. Well, like you said, we're going to take Labor Day off. So, Luke, you have a great Labor Day weekend. Drive safe. Everybody, don't drink and drive. Drive safe. They're gonna probably have the cops out on the road, so have a designated driver. I'm actually going to be playing. I play Saturday night up in Wisconsin Dells, and then Sunday night on Lake Wisconsin. So I'm definitely going to be doing some Google Glass, and because it's going to be the first time that I'll have my glass since the broken pair went back to Google, and I'll be definitely doing some pictures of the lake and the last parts of summer here in Wisconsin before the snow starts to fly. So thanks a lot for watching. My name is Jeffrey Powers. Geekazine is where you can find me on Twitter, Jeff@twig.tv, and of course Luke Wallace, Luke Luca, and Luke@twig.tv with 2 G's after Twig. So thanks a lot for watching, and we will see you in 2 weeks when it will be another episode of This Week in Google Glass. Take care.